Okay, good afternoon all. As already we have discussed about the problems related to the per unit quantities representation in the last class. Now we are going to see again the syllabus, whether we have covered all the topics or not. We will display the syllabus. You please go through that. And preferably my sincere suggestion is you please try to maintain a syllabus copy with you so that you will learn and you will see whether all the topics are covered in the sessions or not, right? So that is my request. Please go through that. Now I'm going to share my screen here. Now please see here, power system analysis. Under that the first unit is this one, per unit representations and its topology. I think we have started this chapter number 1. So we completed the per unit quantities, single line diagram, impedance diagram of a power system. Now we are going to enter in the next one, that is graph theory definitions. Okay, under this graph theory definitions, you will have the various definitions regarding the graph theories, formulation of element node incidence matrix, bus node incidence matrices, primitive network representation, formation of Y-bus using singular transformation, and direct inspection method. So within 4 to 5 classes, we are going to complete chapter number 1. Okay, so whenever we are going to complete this chapter number 1, immediately you please remember me regarding the material that I'm going to give you for this particular. See, it is not possible to have the complete material. Why? Because most of the times this chapter contains more number of problems than the theory questions. Okay, so whenever I am giving you the material regarding the chapter number 1, obviously that contains only the theory topics, not the problems. Okay, that means you need to focus more on the problems. Why? Because theory is directly available in the material what I'm going to submit you. Okay, but the problems are not there. You need to practice more number of problems to get more benefit from the chapter number 1. Chapter number 1. Right. Now we are going to start the new topic, that is graph theory definitions. Right. Now you see here graph theory definition. So graph theory, what is the necessity? Before going to start the original definitions, first of all we must know what is the importance of learning graph theory. So graph theory concepts are very much useful to predict the analysis or predict the behavior of a network in the power system. So power system is made up of so many types of networks. So in that particular case, it is very important to have the proper prediction about the behavior of a particular network. Okay, so for that purpose, we are going to have the graph theory in this particular power system analysis. Okay, now please make a note regarding the various definitions of the graph theory, right? The definition, first definition is element of a graph. Element of a graph. Now you see here, each network element is replaced by a line segment or an arc while constructing a graph for a network. So each line segment is called element. Now what is a line segment? Suppose if you are considering, or if you are, this is node 1, okay, node 2. So if I am drawing, or if I am making the connection between node 1 and node 2, here you will have a straight line. Okay, so this straight line is called element of a graph. Okay, we are not calling this as a straight line. So instead of using straight line, we are calling that as a line segment. Okay, line segment. Now that is called element of a graph. So this is called one element. Suppose you will have another node here. Now if you want to make the connection between these two, Again you will have one more element. So the total elements of this graph is equal to 3. Number of elements are equal to the number of line segments. Okay, that is the basic definition. See, we are not going to discuss about these in detail. Why? Because in your syllabus you are having only the definitions of various components. So for the first definition is element of a graph. Each network element is replaced by a line segment, or you can also call that as an arc while constructing a graph. See, this is the construction of a graph. For a network, each line segment is called an element. So here you will have 3 line segments which connects the different nodes. These line segments are called the elements of this particular network, right? So this is the definition number 1, first definition. Now the next one is network or a vertex. You can call sometimes the node, sorry, network is network node. Node is particularly related to a network. You can call that node as vertex also sometimes. Terminal of an element is called node. Terminal of an element. So what is an element? Just now we have seen that this is a line segment which is called, just wait a minute. So suppose if I have taken this as a line segment which connects to points in a graph. Now this is called a line segment. Now what about the terminal? What about the terminal? See, terminal is nothing but this is the case. So terminal of this is an element. Line segment is nothing but an element. This element is having a terminals. So these are called the terminals. Terminals. So which is called node or vertex. Which is called node or vertex. So this is the basic definition. So for this particular element, you are having 2 nodes. Why? Because this is having 2 terminals. Terminal 1 and terminal 2. So node or vertex, you can call these as nodes or vertex. Okay, so this is the next definition. And the next one is degree. What is a degree? The number of edges connected to a vertex or node is called its degree. Suppose if this is the case, if this is a node or vertex, the number of edges, how many number of edges are there? Suppose here if you are having 4 line segments or 4 elements, obviously the degree of this particular element or node is nothing but 4. The number of edges which have been connected to this particular vertex. Vertex is also like this. So you can have this also. You can have 2 vertex or 2 nodes here. The number of edges which have been connected to these 2 nodes are called the degree of that particular vertex or node. Please do remember that. So what is the degree? So here I am considering this as node number 1. For this node, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 6 line segments have been connected. So obviously the degree of this particular node is equal to 6. Why? Because 6 segments have been connected to this particular node or vertex. Okay. So that is the definition of a degree of this particular node. Now the next one is graph. What do you mean by graph? Actual interconnections of element gives a graph. Let me explain the definition clearly. Suppose this is node 1, this is node 2, this is node 3, and this is node 4. Suppose, for example, here I am assuming that 4 nodes have been connected and 4 nodes are 4 vertices, right? So for 3 and 4 you are having 1 line segment. For 1 and 3 you are also having 1 more line segment. For 4 and 2 you will have 1 more line segment, and for 1 and 2 you will have 1 more line segment. So how many line segments have been connected, or how many line segments are there? So just now we discussed that line segment is a straight line, which is also called as an element. So how many elements are there? So now this is interconnected lines, interconnected. So obviously there is a connection between 1 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 4 and 2, and 2 and 1. So interconnections of all these elements, is called a graph. Just wait a moment. Now, if you clearly see this, obviously all four elements have been interconnected. So this forms a graph. So that is the definition. So actual interconnections of elements gives a graph. That is the meaning of this. That is the meaning of this, right? Excuse me. Next one is rank of a graph. So once if the graph is constructed, now how can we determine the rank of that graph? So the rank is nothing but n minus 1. Now what is n? N is nothing but the number of nodes that is presented in the graph. So once if a graph is formed, you can determine the rank of that graph is by calculating n minus 1, where n is the number of nodes in that particular graph. Okay. Now subgraph is nothing but any subset of elements of the graph is called subgraph. Path is defined as subgraph of a connected element such that more number of two elements have been connected. Now you see here, again you will have planar graph and non-planar graph. A graph is said to be planar if it can be drawn without crossovers. Now see the differences, clear differences between planar graph and non-planar graph. So do you have any crossovers here like this? Now crossover is just nothing but a jump. Do you find any crossovers here? No, you won't have any crossover. So that's why if any crossover is there, that comes under non-planar graph. If no crossover is there, that is called planar graph. Now please try to understand the clear difference between planar and non-planar graphs. Planar and non-planar graphs. Okay. The next one is element node incidence matrix. So how can we obtain element node incidence matrix? So that element node incidence matrix can be represented with A, capital A. Please, these are the standard notations. Under any circumstances, you have to follow these standard notations for representing all these cases. Element node incidence matrix can be represented with the A bar, A bar. So element node incidence matrix, A bar shows the incidence of elements to nodes in the connected graph. Now what is the incidence? What is nothing but incidence? Incidence. Please find out the definition of incidence. Node incidence matrix. What do you mean by incidence? Okay. So before going to that, first of all, please make a note that these are very, very important. Definitions are sometimes directly you are getting. Okay. So the first concept, the first and very important point while proceeding with the next topic is to form the element node incidence matrix of a particular graph. Element node incidence matrix A bar shows that the incidence of elements to the nodes. Incidence is nothing but upon the occurrence of the elements. That means how many number of elements have been connected to a particular node in a graph. That is important. That is important. So incidence is nothing but the occurrence. So graph is looks like this. So this is the example for showing a graph. So in this particular graph, you will have first 0th node, first node, second node, third, and so how many nodes are there? So the number of nodes are equal to 4. How many line segments or elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 6 elements. So 6 line segments have been connected, are interconnected in order to form a graph. So this is the best example. But before going to that, first of all, you please try to remember this. So there are some assumptions here. So let alpha suffix pq is equal to 1 when pth element is incident and directed away from qth node, and alpha pq is equal to -1 when pth element is incident and directed towards qth node. alpha PQ is equal to 0 when pth element is not incident to qth node. Okay. Now A bar has a dimensions of E by N, where E is the number of elements and N is the number of nodes. Now please carefully observe how this terminology have been applied to this particular graph. Now see here. Now this is a graph. In this particular graph, you will have 0th node, first node, second node, third node. That means you will have total 4 nodes are there. Now, A bar is nothing but a matrix. We already know that A bar is a element node incidence matrix. So in this particular case, this is a matrix of size E by N. Now, where N is number of nodes and where E is number of elements. Elements are nothing but a line segments. So let us determine how many line segments are there in order to connect 4 nodes. So first line segment is this one. Line segment 1, segment 2. So line segment is nothing but here an element. Now 3, now 4, now 5, now 6. So total line segments are the number of elements in this particular graph is equal to 6. Now what is the size of element node incidence matrix? So total 6 by 4. The number of rows and the number of columns. So the size of element node incidence matrix is equal to 6 by 4. Okay. Now let us see how we are going to determine the element node incidence matrix. So one thing is clear. So your final result must be of the size 6 by 4. Okay. Now in order to explain in detail, now I'm going to form a matrix here with the size 6 by 4. Now you see here. So the number of nodes I am considering on in this direction. So 0th node, first node, second node and third node. Number of elements are, I am considering this on this side. Okay. Node element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, element 5, element 6. Now you consider 0th node, element 1. So here I have written 1, minus 1, 0, 0. Let me explain how these values are comes from. So in order to obtain this matrix, first of all, you people have to remember the assumptions what we have taken. So the assumption 1 is alpha PQ is equal to 1. What is P and what is Q? Q is nothing but a node. P is nothing but an element. So when you consider alpha PQ is equal to 1, whenever pth element is incident on that particular node and which is directed away from qth node. Now we are going to consider the first one. Now you see here. First one is node 0 and element 1. Now you see this is node 0, 0th node. Now element 1 which is directed away from, not directed towards. If this is the directed towards means obviously the arrow is in this direction. The arrow is in this direction. So whenever the element number 1 and element 1 is directed away from 0th node, obviously you have to substitute that is equal to 1. Now next, node 1, element 1. Now you see here, node 1 is this one, node 1. So according to this node, this line segment or the element is directed towards node 1. So directed towards means obviously you have to consider minus 1. Now what about this? Do you have any incidence between node 1 or element 1 and node 1? Please try to understand the concept in clear. For your sake, I am going to explain one more time. So already we have assumed that alpha PQ is equal to 1 when pth element is directed away from qth node. Alpha pq is equal to -1 when pth element is directed towards node q. Similarly, alpha pq is equal to 0 if there is no relationship between pth element and qth node. Now, according to that, we are going to determine the first row of the element node incidence matrix. Element node incidence matrix. So this is for your sake, not for actual purpose. So the actual node incidence matrix is only this one. Only this one. Actual node incidence matrix is only this one, 6 by 4. 6 by 4, right? Just wait a moment. చేసిన తర్వాత ఏది Now, please all of you carefully observe this. If you consider, first, let me explain in clear how to form this row. First row, 1, -1, 0, 0. Now you consider 0th node, element number 1. Now, if you consider 0th node and element number 1, there is an incidence between 0th node and pth element. So this is the first element. So alpha pq is equal to 1. So how can we substitute alpha pq is equal to 1? According to that assumption, pth element is directed away. So here you will have the direction like this. All the elements are directed away from this 0th node. If this is the case, directed towards means obviously you can substitute -1 here. Now, as far as the first element is concerned, element number 1, which is directed away from 0th node, so directly I have substituted this as 1. Next, number 1, node number 1. Node number 1 means this one. Element number 1. Element number 1 is this one. So element number 1 is incident on this node number 1, but this is directed towards, not away. See the direction. See the direction. So that's why I have substituted this is equal to -1. Now come to node 2. So node 2 is this. Element 1 is this. Do you have any incidence between node 2 and element 1? No, you don't have any incidence between those two. Obviously, you can directly substitute that is equal to 0. Now, what about node 3 and element 1? Obviously, you don't have any incidence between these two. You can directly substitute that is equal to 0. Now, next, element number 2. Element number 2. So now see here, what about the element number 2? Element number 2 is this one. Consider 0th node and element number 2. Now, element number 2 is directed away from 0th node. Obviously, you can substitute that is equal to 1. Now, see the next one, number 1, node number 1. So, do you have any incidence between element 2 and node 1? You don't have any incidence between element 1 and node 2. Node 1 and element number 2. So that's why directly I have substituted that is equal to 0. Now come to the next one, node 2. Node 2 is this one, element 2. Element 2 and node 2. Obviously you can see the direction of this element 2. This is directed towards node 2. So directly you can substitute that is equal to -1. Now consider the third one. Do you have any incidence between element 2 and node 3? No, you don't have. So similarly, you can substitute or you can determine the remaining elements in order to obtain element node incidence matrix. So finally, this is your matrix. You just note down this matrix and note down this graph. Note down this graph and note down this matrix. Later you will analyze how you are going to substitute this. So before going to that, first of all, you write down this one. Alpha pq is equal to 1 when pth element is incident and directed away from qth node. Alpha pq is equal to -1 when pth element is incident and directed towards qth node. Please, all of you, try to write down these three assumptions. Later, you please write down these two also. So with this, we are going to conclude this session for this day, particular. Please take 5 minutes time for noting all these things. First, you directly write down this one. Alpha pq is equal to 1, alpha pq is equal to -1, alpha pq is equal. So whenever you are going to have these assumptions, that directly you are going to substitute the values. Okay, completed. So after that, you please try to draw this graph and the matrix, the formation of matrix. Okay, so that's all for today, and the remaining things we shall see it in the next class. Okay, so how can we write the generalized expression, how can we form the percent incidence matrix? Okay, now just now we have seen element node incidence matrix. So similarly you will have bus incidence matrix, bus admittance matrix, primitive network, etc, etc. Okay, later we will see it in the next class, right? So that's all for today. Remaining we will continue it in the next class. Thank you.